Hello there. Hello, Borberin. No problem. Well, haven't quite started yet. We'll see how the cast goes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've mostly managed to stay spoiler-free, so I don't know if either player did cast their point of view of the games earlier, because I was too busy at work to even check, so I have no idea. But yeah, I do have all the replayer files in. Carver's given me 7 replays. That doesn't necessarily mean there are 7 games though, because Carver very kindly always makes enough replayer files for all the games, and if there's like extra games, he'll like put in dummy files. So I've got 7 replays. I don't know how many games we are going to get. We'll find out how many of them are legit. Obviously, best of 7 here in the winners bracket final, and the winner will advance onto the grand final. But yeah, best of 7 means we're guaranteed at least 4 games between these top 2 players. Saymyname our number 1 seed for this tournament, and TakeawayBongo, excuse me, that's my dinner fighting back. TakeawayBongo our number 2 seed. So yeah, our top 2 seeded players making the final here, winners final. So like I said, winner goes to the grand finals. Losers will drop down to the lower brackets, so they will have a chance to come back again, and they will fight whoever the winner is of the 3rd place match, which hasn't taken place yet. That match will be between Unrestricted and Vertex. I can't remember if it's been arranged. I think they're still in the process of, yeah, Vertex just needs to confirm what day we'll be able to play, but that match should be sometime next week. And then, like I said, the winner of that match will go on to face the loser of this match. And yeah, so well, I guess without further ado, we may as well dive on in. I do have the drafts here from the players, and I couldn't actually remember how the drafts, what we got here. So we got bands. Okay, so we are picking 7 civs. Okay, so we don't have a spare civ. Okay, right. I was trying to remember, because it's been quite a long time since we've done a BO7 series, because we normally do BO5 by default. But yeah, so this is going to be the first map draft of the BO7 series. Basically every game from now on will be BO7, apart from the grand final, which will be best of 9. And yeah, it feels like it's been a little while since we've seen Saymyname play. His last match was against Unrestricted in what was essentially the winners semi-finals. Sahara is banned by Bongo. Has been quite a common pick by Saymyname. I've actually got some, I think it was Thio was asking for some stats for some of the other games, so I actually made an Excel, not Excel, a Google Sheets document with some stats. Hello, Jesse. Ocean Ring banned by Saymyname. Boo, boo, Saymyname on the Ocean Ring. Continental. And yeah, like I said, I've got some stats for what maps and civs are being drafted. Actually, I think Continental, obviously Highland's the most played game because it happens every series, but I think Continental is actually the 2nd most played map this tournament. And Inland is the other one as well. Oasis, but yeah, so another open map pickup by Saymyname. Inland from Bongo as well, so going for the more hybrid maps. It does feel like Saymyname does usually prefer to keep to the pure land maps. Occasionally he does pick something like Citadels or Inside Out, but Oasis and Sahara is better. But Plateaus coming in. I don't feel like we've seen much Plateaus this tournament. Again, I had the stats and I can't remember what the Plateaus stats are now. Desert Ridge by Bongo. And what was the final map? We haven't, like I said, we haven't got a closed map, so I think Citadels or Inside Out may be going through Saymyname's mind. Like I said, he does prefer the open maps, but he does occasionally pick one of those closed maps as well. And like I've said before, I usually kind of like one of those 2 maps to be in the series, just so that like some of the civs are a bit more useful, but it is Gold Mountain. So we're going to have, yeah, like a lot of the pure land maps in the draft here. What's up, Wattle? If I judge some indicators right, the set was hotter than the temps this week in Germany. Ooh, okay, well, I know it's pretty hot in the UK on Monday. I think my car was recording 32 degrees on my way back from work that evening. So, but yeah, so, okay, go straight onto the civ draft as well. So again, this is going to be both players can, this is hidden, so both players can ban the same civ. This is hidden as well, so both players can pick the same civ as the first pick. In best of 7, we just get 7 civs each. There isn't a spare civ. Obviously, one of the little bit of an issue with AoE1 is that there aren't that many civs to pick from it. Persians ban. I think this is the first time I've seen Persians banned in this series, but likely as well. It's probably going to be just the Shang and Shang, of course. And now where are we going? We've got a lot of maps to play, and I think it's going to have to be those just strong early game civs being prioritized here with how many open sort of land maps we've got. So Karth going to be a standout there. Minoans though, interesting to pick that. Yamato, obviously good versatile civ. But yeah, Karth, Phoenicians, maybe even Romans would be quite high contested picking these maps just because they have the weaker Stone Age bonus, but it is a Stone Age bonus nonetheless. So yeah, Karth being picked up as well as Yamato. Macedonians by Saymyname very early on, but that Roman sneaking as well. And yeah, Phoenicians feels like a pretty easy grab for me, but obviously I'm always a bit biased with the Phoenicians. Howdy, hey Carver, how we doing? Syrians being grabbed, and Phoenicians tend to slip through the net a little bit more than I like to see. Again, I'm a little bit biased with this civ, but I do think they are one of the stronger civs on a lot of the maps in the game. And it looks like Bongo is having a little bit more of a think after his Assyrians pick. He does go for the Hittites. I was going to say, like, I just personally think the Hittites is just a straight up upgrade from Assyrians, so I just prefer that, but he does pick them as a pair together. And again, Phoenicians still in the table. I'm also quite a big fan of Palmyrans, although again with more open maps are a little bit more difficult to play. And Chosen and Phoenicians finally getting picked up there. Absolute haters, man. How do you do unrestricted? And like I say, it's getting towards the tail end, and there's a lot of those civs left that are like the closed map civs. So it's just like picking your poison really. And then Palmyrans there though, and I think I prefer Egyptians most from what's left over, just because I feel like with the changes to farms not needing markets now, Egyptians are a little bit more stronger on those just more open land maps. Obviously not as strong as the stronger civs on those maps, but not a bad pick. But Babylonians is the choice. And again, I find that, in my civ tier list video, I said, like, to me, Babylonians and Egyptians just feel like an upgrade of the Babylonians because they're quite similar. At least, like, up to the Bronze Age. Obviously, in the Iron Age, the Babylonians have quite a few more options than the Egyptians. But in those earlier phases of the games, I just prefer the Egyptians to Babylonians. But that is Saymane's last pick there. So, like I said, a bit surprising with the Persians ban. I feel like that's a civilization Saymyname himself usually likes to wield. And that would have been a good civ for quite a few of these maps here. Obviously, it's some maps I'm not a huge fan of Persians, but on those more open ones you can try and abuse their civ bonuses. And like I said, we are going from replays, so no need to hang around too much. We'll get ourselves straight into the game 1, which obviously is Highland. And it'll be interesting to see what the I was going to say what the first civs are, but I've already spoiled myself by seeing the civs from the replay file. But you guys will have a little bit of a surprise for the Highland matchup as we just load ourselves into game 1, assuming my CA is going to load the game any moment now. And okie dokie, so I'll mute the music now that we're in game. And I will take the, what am I trying to do here? Get rid of this. Go away, there we go. And now we're going to game. So yes, like I said, game 1 of the winners final. Best of 7, I'm going to quickly change that on that. It's the first time I've had to do this, best of 7. Look at all the dots up there, boys and girls. And we have the Macedonians versus the Saymynames on Highlands here. Two quite rarer seen civs on this map. I feel like sometimes Macedonians in the past have been used on this map, but it feels like the civ in general has just kind of fallen out of favour quite a bit. Saymyname very off the mark in terms of going to the centre. They does sweep now, but that means that Bongo is actually going to get to the central elephant first. They've kind of actually been split up by that mining camp there. It's going to be quite close, but Bongo does get them both there. So Saymyname trying to go for a bit of a block. I feel like the only way this usually, I think you have to block the villager is the only way that really usually works, and try and make the villager take a bit of whack from the elephants, which Bongo does do there. Fortunately for Saymyname, it looks like, are those? Yeah, so those were the central elephant there, but fortunately for Saymyname, the other two central elephant are together there, and he is going to spot both of those. So it is going to be 2 elephants apiece, so even Stevens. But Bongo obviously a little bit more efficient getting his elephant back, and he's found another his own elephant on the way back as well. Other elephant obviously over here. And let's have a look. See, did Saymyname see that other elephant? Nope, but if there's a good chance he does, as he finds an artifact as well. Or is it going to be the classic one tile miss? There we go, he finds it. Looks like he's taken a bit of a battering from the elephant as well there. But let's have a look. Quite close wood for both players, actually. Quite a similar spawn. They've both got these sort of 4 wood lines creating a little bit of a box around their bases. So as Highland spawns go, this is pretty closed up map. Yeah, you can actually, you can sort of imagine here, Bongo could quite easily wall these sections of the map here. There's not many resources back in this corner, that said. So not huge, but obviously just a reasonably good amount of space, and I have a lot of wood there to easily defend. And yeah, again, a little bit more open in some areas for Saymyname at first glance, but again, he could fairly easily wall the front of his base there. And it does have the gold tucked in nicely towards the back, and that's going to be important for the Macedonians if it does reach the Bronze Age, because obviously they're one of the civs that don't get access to chariots. I feel like I've seen maybe 2 or 3 games this tournament where a gold civ has got to the Bronze Age and their gold's just been forward, and they've just been pushed off the gold and they just lose the game on the spot because of that. And so obviously one of the big downsides to those gold civs is you are very reliant on that once you reach the Bronze Age. But yeah, we can see 4 villagers forward by Bongo. These are the Sumerian villagers with the extra HP, so I don't know if this is some sort of bone rush that he's trying to go for here. Idle TC time a little bit higher for Bongo, but both players, yeah, he's actually a villager behind already, but he hasn't found his opponent just yet. Unfortunately, he's gone to the wrong side of the map. You see he's got in the corner, so I guess it kind of was a bit of a 50-50 whether Saymyname was going to be around here or around here. And unfortunately for Bongo, he's got a bit unlucky on this one. He's adding an extra villager to the queue. Saymyname has already clicked up on 20 vills. 39 seconds idle TC time. Not too crazy for the Macedonians. Obviously they only just get that extra line of sight as a bonus in the early game, so it's often seen that you'll have a little bit of idle time as both of these saves really, but 57 is quite extensive. And Saymyname just trying to, there we go, drop the aggro on the crocodile there, but only 1 villager forward from Saymyname. Normally his patented move is the 2 villagers forward, just to try and make sure, that it's less likely the forward barracks gets denied. But yeah, barracks is going to go up, and Bongo is going to get spotted. Obviously the Macedonian villagers with a much better range. The second villager is coming forward now, so it'll be interesting to see if Bongo thinks this is the forward villager, because obviously we can see this is the second villager. Barracks is already up, so this might give Bongo a little bit of a false sense of security here. But yeah, Bongo does finally find his opponent, and that's a lot of idle villager time in terms of them not collecting resources. Tool Age coming in a little bit later, and we had a couple of clubbers in the queue, and it's going to be an archery range as the immediate follow-up here. Looks like actually Bongo did just narrowly miss that elephant here, but both players going quite exposed. Saymyname with his classic watchtower on the wood line just to defend that nicely. First clubber comes in, armor's coming in, and Bongo is matching with the tower of his own. He's not seeing the archery range. Obviously, he must have seen that clubber sneak through the base. Villagers, I guess he's, yeah, probably the berries. There we go. And some villagers being forced idle here. Going to jump out the TC, try and box down that bowman. Probably should try and run away with the low HP villager. 1 HP now does pull it back. A little bit clumsy, pulls 3 back instead of just the 1. That means the clubber's going to be able to have a start beating up. Again, these are Sumerian villagers, so they're going to be able to tank an extra couple of shots. Meanwhile, at the back here, Bongo going under the tower there and just losing the AXA for free a little bit. I think, where is the archery range? Archery range is forward as well. Both players do, like I said, have that defensive tower. Bowman, Bongo needs to be a little bit careful that he doesn't get villagers picked off here. There's that 1 HP villager from before. Prime target there. Not tower, excuse me. House does get clubbed down. Hacks are upgraded now. Couple of villagers. Oh, okay, one of them does go down, so that's the first villager kill. His axe is a nice quick house from Bongo. The axe is taking quite a lot of damage from the tower now. Let's have a look. And Saymyname's base. Bongo does have a few bows out, but again, those defensive towers just quite nicely positioned. Oh no, Saymyname has found the berries though, and the villagers are going to be forced to run here. So that's pretty bad news for Bongo. He has a reasonable amount of food in the bank, that said. Excuse me, so he can keep production going for a little while on the wood line. Not quite enough bowman there to get pick off. I think needleworking must be in there. Yeah, it is, because that villager just took quite a few hits there and didn't go down. Yeah, Bongo's going to be housed now. And what do those villagers? They've built a stable over here. Well, presumably we're going to see some scouts while in the queue, but we're housed still. So Bongo needs to get some houses down for sure. There we go. Yeah, these villagers here are a little bit homeless at the moment. And Bongo, idle military at the moment, but yeah, he's got problems back at home. As the axes are going to work away at that tower. Enough units to just kind of ignore the tower. So that's the thing about towers, like they feel like they're impossible to get past until you get a certain mass, and then they just feel invisible after that. But yeah. Looks like Bongo did dive over and actually got quite a few villager kills there, so a good attack there. As Saymyname was distracted, but this feels a lot more damaging. It does peel a villager off to try and distract, but the bowman's still on her way. See, these villagers are slightly faster than the military units in the Tool Age, and just a storage pit going up on the wood there. But yeah, these villagers still being run down. It's 18-18 on the villager count. So it's 5-4 on the villager kills, and everyone goes down there. But Saymyname feels like he's just been forcing the more idle time here. We're gonna have a club fight, bone fight with the vills here. There we go. A couple of bows here, so we're gonna see a little bit of a brawl. I think actually, okay, never mind. I was gonna say Bongo has more bows. Now I'm just seeing the reinforcements here, and still the villagers are roaming around as Saymyname is absolutely decimating Bongo's base. Nice bit of movement from Bongo, get some kills there. And yeah, 7 bows to the 5 in this area here. I think the scout has come out now, taking some damage from something. It doesn't have any kills, so I don't know exactly what's happened there. Granary just going up on the south side, but yeah, a lot of army just here chilling. And it's 22 military units to 5. Bongo's down to 13 vills now. And this is starting to look like probably GG. And yeah, he's trying to get the villagers in on the bows now, but these bows should be able to take out maybe another villager or two. Okay, Saymyname not choosing to focus down the villagers there. I guess maybe just moving somewhere else. And a lot of Saymyname's villagers, I guess these were on the berries there that have now run out. But this kind of feels like, yeah, GG. And pretty crazy game one there. Like I said, I'm not sure if Bongo was trying to go for some sort of bone rush. He sent those 4 villagers forward. That's obviously, like I say, 4 villagers not collecting resources this whole time. And yeah, just didn't find his opponent there. And it'd be interesting to see what would happen if he did find Saymyname straight away. And then, like I said, there was that village. I've gone a little bit too far now. But the villager here, I don't know if Bongo actually spotted it, that said. Yeah. I mean, he moved like he sort of tried to move out of the line of sight, but obviously the Macedonian villager would have seen it way earlier just because it's got way bigger line of sight. But like I said, I don't know if maybe that possibly gave Bongo a false sense of security, like I said, because the barracks was already down. That said, it was a little while for Saymyname to actually get the clubbers in, so maybe that wasn't really as big of a factor as I'm making out. But it felt like Saymyname for sure got the more aggressive push in. Like that tower went up nice and early for Saymyname, just had that quite a long advantage getting up to the tool edge much earlier there. So yeah, a little bit messy in that game there, but ultimately Saymyname winning off on a lot of the trades and just had a little bit more of the pressure. So we'll get ourselves into game 2. And so game 2 is going to be on Continental here. So we'll just jump straight in. I mean, there is the alliance map where you are guaranteed to spawn across from your opponent, which we did used to have in the map pool, but we actually took it out. I think we had like a vote on the map pool and alliance didn't get many votes, so it ended up being dropped. Yeah, the AoE2s don't... I mean, AoE2 doesn't have fixed spawns. But in AoE2, you have a scout, so it's much easier to find your opponent still. So... But yeah, focusing on the second game here, we do have the Carthaginians from Bongo. And Saymyname with those Minoans that he picked as his... well, second pick, his first pick, obviously both players picked Shang. But Saymyname prioritizing... Why can't I say that word? I think you know what I'm trying to say though. putting yeah, emphasis on getting the Minoans early in the draft. A little too many villagers, yeah, collecting there. Might need to send that onto wood. There we go. So early storage pit out from Bongo, and just straight on to the, the granary for Saymyname. It was a little bit further from the water line with this spawn. In fact, both players were a reasonable different distance. So obviously with the Carthaginian bonus of the plus 50 food, that means you can keep that TC working, whilst presumably there was a little bit lag of the food coming in. And I think it was in the Vertex versus Mini Yeti series where we had a Continental game and Mini Yeti hadn't built the granary for the berries when he went for the storage pit, and then because of that he wasn't able to wall or tower himself, and that put him in a really awkward position for that game. And yeah, he ended up having to build like a granary just on the shoreline just to try and research the techs. So that is one of the downsides of going for the storage pits first, is if you don't add in the granary, you can miss out on those very important technologies to unlock those buildings. And yeah, just elephant coming in, storage pit going up for Saymyname. So he's staying a little bit more clear of the water for the time being. Obviously Minoans known for their excellence on the water maps. Prestige. Howdy her, Vertex. I wasn't talking smack, I was giving you a compliment. Well, to be fair, it was more I was having a dig at Yeti. Yeah, the forward villager from Bongo actually does get spotted, unfortunately. Because obviously the Carthaginians, you do have that stronger early game on the land for, at least. And Bongo is going to bring the second villager forward. Turns on the villager. Saymyname quite quick on the uptake there though, but next villager does go forward, so it is. Saymyname going to send out a scouting villager to try and prevent this forward going down. Bongo is on 20 vils now, a little bit shy on the food. Idle time's creeping up. So yeah, Carthaginians not the greatest time. Again, I think that storage pit taking quite a while, being a fair distance from the TC, probably delayed a little bit of that food income, like I said. Saymyname is eventually going to lose this villager here. But Saymyname actually was the first to click up, I think, marginally. So that's 32. Only very slightly, but yeah. Dock now going up, which I think this, from watching a bunch of games on Continental, this is my preferred approach. Is sometimes the players go for the docks a bit too early in the Stone Age, and that delays their Tool Age time. But yeah, I think I prefer the play where you make sure you get your click in, and then add in the docks as you age up. And you can add in a few fishing ships, and then if you feel like you need to defend those, some scout ships as well. Somehow this village is still going. But yeah, the forward double barracks has come in from Bongo. Villager coming forward as well. And we'll see. Presumably we're going to have the tower research straight away. Yep, there we go. Bongo does have the granary now, okay, so he does have access to that. Archery range going up in defense. The clubbers come forward. There's no upgrades on these clubbers just yet. So Bongo doesn't need to be too scared. Needlework coming. Saymyname doesn't need to be too scared. Sorry. Needlework is coming in now. But now the action upgrade is here though. So these villagers do have the 10% movement speed boost, which does mean the villagers can just outrun the axes. Which again, I'm not a huge fan of that change myself, but some players vote for that. It does mean those early axes are much weaker, but at the very least, at the very least, the Bongo does force a bunch of idle villager time. Yeah, well, that's kind of why I don't really like that 10% movement. I think it's too much of a nerf to the axes, that 10% there. Hello, Bongo. No spoilers in the chat, please, but but glad to have you here. But yeah, like I said, those early axes not really getting much value. And that's going to allow... Well, like I said, they did force a lot of idle villager time. But it's given Saymyname that chance to build up that fishing economy. We do have a dock. Okay, the dock actually got placed down right next to Saymyname, but Saymyname first to get that scout ship out. House going to go down after, well, second house by the looks of it here, and we do see a little bit of bowman back and forth. Looks like Saymyname is going to get the better of that. I think they're just kind of like idly attacking each other. And we did have a little bit of a response. Here we go, bowman coming in. For Bongo, okay, he's just going to try and all in the bowman here. Yeah, no armor on that as well. And Bongo does have needlework in as well. So singular bowman not going to be a problem there. So again, a little bit of a messy game back and forth. Where were we at? 25 eco units though. So I think, yeah, like I said, the biggest factor here at the moment is just that fishing eco for Saymyname at the moment. Market going up forward, the classic forward market. Another bowman just being a little bit annoying. Might be able to get one kill. Does pick that villager off there. Saymyname singling out the low HP villager. And yeah, a couple of bowmen being added just probably for defensive reasons. We've got 2 scout ships in here to 3 of Saymyname. Saymyname has stopped making scout ships. So if this dock lasts, in theory Bongo can get a bit of a jump out here. Woodworking coming for Saymyname as well now from that market. And Bongo still chasing off the bowman here. And it's getting to the point where it's 20% HP, which is 70 HP on the... Oh, but Bongo springs out a little bit early. Looks like Saymyname was ready for that, though. And another scout ship comes around here, so Bongo does have the numbers. Where's this other dock on this side? Okay. Little blinking lights going on everywhere. Let's have a look on the water. Saymyname bringing in the villagers. Usually at this point, it's usually better to focus down the villagers. There we go. Bongo does start doing that now. And there's Saymyname trying to focus in multiple places at once, it looks like. He's going to lose a handful of villagers there, but I think Saymyname... Okay, some more villagers go down. A little bit more of a push as well. Some more units built. So Bongo looking pretty strong in terms of his military push. Okay, again, he's a bit behind on eco. Actually, yeah, these bowmen catching out some more villagers there. And Bongo's bowmen, I think with Bongo definitely focusing on the south battle for the time being. But he is going to be able to clear up the fishing eco, which will even up the numbers quite a lot. You can see the military numbers massively swinging in the favour of Bongo here now. So now it's just going to be a question of can he get a few more villager kills and one more there. And I think he cleared up on the top side here, although like I said he lost quite a few villagers for that. But 12 villager kills to 6. And again, he's far ahead on military for the time being. More scout ships being produced. And Saymyname with only the one... Yeah, he's just got the one fishing boat left. So he's not really collecting food anymore, which obviously means he can't make any more units on the land. Hello, Marco Gonzo. It is Saymyname from AoE2. He's a very big player in AoE1 as well. Yeah, he's very strong. Well, he's our #1 seed player in this tournament. As Bongo unfortunately getting his scout ship a little bit caught out there. But he has a whole bunch of reinforcements. A couple of very low HP ships over here. Bongo looks like he's getting ready for the next push, and this again might be a situation where Bongo just has enough units to just jump over the tower. Only 5 villagers can hide in there. So one villager is going to get caught out. There'll go another. This is going to be quite a bit of damage. Maybe only get one more. Yeah, but that's a pretty reasonable amount of damage done there. Where are Bongo's ships gone? Did he just lose all of those ships? I was focusing on the land there. I don't know if Bongo his ships were maybe just caught moving and weren't actually firing back there. Yeah. Oh no, okay. I guess it was just the damage on the ships already. And the Saymyname did manage to clear that fight. Saymyname with a lot of bows on the top side here now though. And actually now that military numbers with all those ships going down has swung back in the favour of Saymyname, and this is... Yeah. I think that's pretty... Yeah, 7 vills. Something like that. I mean, it looked like Bongo was in a good spot, and then in a blink of an eye, it all has fallen apart. All the ships gone. Like I said, a couple of kills here, but just all those villagers on the zebra there. Going to the damn hell. Dock gets cleared up. There's still the dock over here. But yeah, only 6 vills left. 5 on the zebra there. And I guess Bongo just trying to play it out. I think, unfortunately, that attack with the bowman there is going to be the last nail in the coffin, really, for Bongo. Saymyname absorbing quite a bit of the pressure. Like I said, those early axes not really able to get that damage in. Only really forced the idle idle villager time. I keep saying idle TC time, sorry about that. But yeah, the idle villager time. But yeah, the bowmen come back just to clear up the army from Bongo. He might just be like, I don't know. Maybe Bongo thinks he's done more damage than he has, but yeah, 7 villagers. It might just be like he just wants to, I don't know, keep the hams warm. game can be very swingy because like you can see how quickly villagers can die if they get caught out. So yeah, good engage by Bongo there. He is trying to very slowly add villagers back in. I mean, yeah, we could see a whole bunch of villagers go down. I think that most of them were able to just jump in the TC, and actually Saymyname going on the aggressive with his vills there. But yeah, I think this game should kind of be, yeah, Saymyname is getting back on the water now with the fishing boats. This game should kind of just be dead to rights, really. So it's basically just at what point Bongo decides he's had enough, and he's still making bows for the time being. So he's not accepted defeat just yet, but it's looking pretty impossible at this point. I don't think he's troll, he's just... But yeah, like I said, it kind of feels like this game's a little bit... Well, yeah, you can see the difference. The score difference is climbing apart as well now. And I may slightly fast forward. I'll play it out. I'm pretty maybe when this army goes down, maybe Bongo taps out. But yeah, okay, the GG's called now. So yeah, that was, like I said, it was a bit... Bongo felt like he was in a pretty commanding position. Like, he was behind on the eco, for sure, but like, it felt like he had the push. And then it was just these bowmen coming out. I'm not sure exactly what point those came in. Yeah, there's this group of bowmen here. Just didn't get spotted. Absolute massacre. Oh, so it wasn't just the zebra. It was villagers on the wood line as well. And I guess Bongo just, yeah, he was focusing on his dive down here. And just lost all the villagers. Absolute bloodbath on the top side here. And that basically killed the game dead for Bongo pretty much on the spot. So it's just one of those situations where there's just too many points on the map to focus. And unfortunately Bongo paying the price there. So on to game 3 we go. Come on guys, be civil in the chat. Let's not try and goad each other. We're all just trying to have a fun time playing our video game. Yep, game 3, we're going to Gold Mountain, which I feel like... Let me go back to the draft, actually, I didn't do that last game. So we have seen the Minoans beat the Carthaginians, and we had the Macedonians beating the Cimmerians as well. And yeah, Gold Mountain is Saymyname's map. As the next map that we're going to play. So we had Continental. So that's quite interesting, I just wanted to check that there. And our civilizations are the Hittites from Bongo and Chosen from Saymyname. Which are somewhat unusual civs for this map, I must say. Obviously, the top tier pick for this map is the Latviat, but that was banned for the series, so obviously neither player has that. And we have a very, very open front of the base for Bongo here. Actually, to be fair, both players got pretty open front of the base. It's one of the weird things about Gold Mountain. Sometimes you can get the wood lines that like curve in a lot more at the front of the base, and it's sometimes quite easy to wall the front. But you can see here both players have a fairly open base. It will be quite easy for... I was going to say for Bongo to close up his backside, but it's just it's just so open on the other side here, so it's hard to say. Obviously, this map, one of the defining features is the big mountain in the middle, where there's the whole bunch of gold. Though again, for anyone that somehow doesn't know, gold is only relevant in AoE1 in the Bronze Age. So often what happens is the game does get decided before the gold in the middle of the map becomes relevant. We do have a whole bunch of extra berry patches around the side of the map. Yeah, 102, you can see that. I don't know if I got all of them. Which is why the Lackviat tends to be a very strong civ here, because it's quite easy to usually just do a little bit of scouting and find some extra berry patches. Which means you can delay going onto those farms. Sometimes that does leave you a little bit vulnerable to things like scout raids and stuff like that, if your opponent is feeling confident enough to go that. Saymyname on the Chosen, actually, they are one of the better civs at doing a sort of scout rush, just because that the scout armor and tool working, they save quite a lot of wood on both those techs, which means essentially you kind of get a free scout, which is not too shabby. Hittites obviously don't really have any bonus. I mean, they have the +1 attack on their bowman, but it's not usually the hugest deal in the tool age. If your opponent's ready for it and just has slingers, the slingers just deal with those nicely. Well, that's thinking that, again, I have some stats, and Lackviat is by far the most banned civilization, which, like, it kind of makes some sense, because, like, they are quite a strong aggressive civ, but we have, like I said, we've nerfed them quite a few times, so I don't really know what more we can... Well, yeah, they are an oppressive civ, but, like, so is the Shang. Yeah, they do, yeah, the percentage military speed bonus is obviously a very big factor of that. They just have, I mean, they have 3 bonuses that make them very good in the early game, because they have the berry bonus, the faster producing military, and then their team bonus of quicker building houses is actually, that does actually save a reasonable amount of villager time in the early game. I know it sounds a bit daft, but like, I think it's like 24 seconds to build a house, and they build it 50% faster, which means it takes 8 seconds less to build. Which means that, like, after building like 4 houses, you basically get like close to an extra sort of like half a villager of collection time. But yeah, to focus back on this game a little bit more, we do have both players clicking up at 20 population, 19 and 17 seconds idle TC times, so pretty good. Idle TC times for both players, because yeah, like I said, both these civs don't really have much of an early game bonus. Bongo just doing a little bit of exploration. He has found his elephant. He's going to tag that now. And now we do see a villager coming out for Saymyname. So it'll be interesting to see if we do see any scout play. This is one of the maps where you do tend to spawn quite far from your opponent, just because the mountain takes up so much of the center of the map. The TCs are usually forced a little bit closer to the edge. Barracks is going down. Did the barracks go up at home for Saymyname, or has he still not built the barracks yet? I don't think he's built the barracks. I could be wrong. I'm not seeing it though. Which means Saymaname's not actually going to have the barracks up by the time he hits the tool edge. And now he's building the barracks at home. So that is going to slightly delay any forward. This is an unusual play. Saymyname going for infantry armor plus slinger. Infantry armor doesn't do anything for slingers, but it's going to just be another barracks forward. Watchtower, again, just that defensive watchtower, I imagine, on the wood line. And it looks like Bongo's going for more of a building wall at the front of his base. He has researched small wall as well. We'll need to close off the south side of his base. But yeah, some unusual early game choices. Okay, we do see Clubman coming down now. Obviously the Chosen do get the +5 HP on their axes, but we're a little bit a ways off that happening. And the second barracks going up at home for Saymyname. And yeah, some very... Yeah, tower only just going up now. Feels like Saymaneme's got a little bit lost in this early game here. I don't know, he's not even found Bongo yet. And yeah, Bongo is now almost fully walled. He is the Hittites, who do like to just try and have a pretty chill early game, try and get themselves up to the Bronze Age where they have their all-powerful chariot archers. House in the wall there. Yeah, that is fully wooded up there, I believe. This villager's just making sure. There are... well, it does have the extra berry patch here, but it doesn't have any... oh no, sorry, it does have a berry patch there as well. I was going to say it doesn't have any extra berries, and that's just a complete lie. Clubber plinking away. The slingers should clear that up fairly swiftly, although they've done a stone mining in, so they're only doing 1 damage a shot. But yeah, Saymyname still hasn't found his opponent. And triple barracks, when you haven't found your opponent... I mean, he's gone 8 on the slingers. So if he brings those forward, he does have a force that can punch through these walls fairly quickly. Bongo, yeah, just trying to wall behind his houses to not rely too heavily on those. And yeah, I guess this kind of makes sense against the Hittites. Obviously, Slinger just completely cancels out the Hittite bonus in the Tool Age. But yeah, like I said, it was just quite a strange series of plays. The late barracks going up at home, forward barracks here, not really doing much. But yeah, obviously, it has found his opponent now. But Bongo has got himself set up fairly nicely. A little bit better idle TC time, but we only have 8 bows against 11 slingers that are now getting the stone mining upgrade in. I don't think Bongo has woodworking. Oh no, it does have woodworking. Okay, fair enough. I didn't notice that come in. But yeah, Bongo's going to need to be... okay, if he can pick up a few, that would be good. But no, it doesn't manage to quite get the damage in there. But yeah. The 3 pierce armor of those slingers just able to absorb all the bowman damage here. Bongo probably needs to either add in some axes, or if he can afford it, try and maybe sneak some scouts in. But yeah, Saymyname 17 military units. He's behind on eco for the moment, but yeah, if you can just keep massing the slingers against the Hittites. So it's only really scouts that heavily deal with slingers, and they're just quite an expensive unit to go into. Bongo is floating a lot of food, but I imagine that's he's just going to try and sneak his way up to the Bronze Age. He's using the 1 extra range of the bowman to try and hold back those slingers for the time being. And these other slingers are being distracted, at least. But yeah, still adding, it's 36 to the 30 now. Yeah, sorry, got a little bit distracted for a second there. But yeah, so Bongo is going to be able to actually wall up. Saymyname kind of pulls away a little bit, eases off the pressure, so that gives Bongo a chance to wall properly. And there we go, Bronze Age is in. Bows got absolutely massacred. They did get 1 villager there, but there was plenty of slingers in defense. Guys, can you... seriously, chill out in the chat. I'm gonna have to time you out. If you want to sling insults at each other, put it in DMs. Just let us enjoy the games, man. But yeah, Bongo more than half of the way up to the Bronze Age now, and 0 eco kills for Saymyname. And Archer Ranger's second Archer Ranger is going to go down, so yeah, Bongo's definitely going to need to add in some more there, but he's got a couple going up. That's the market. Building a second market, I guess he's just making sure he has that in case this goes down so we can research the wheel. Because obviously, if that market goes down, he can't research the wheel, then that undoes a lot of the plan, because you can't get your chariot archers without the wheel. Bronze Age is in. Saymyname has the food to click up. It doesn't have the second building just yet. So he needs to sort that out. There we go. Second building going up now. Stable is the choice. Bowman again just trying to run a little bit of distraction to buy time for the wheel to come in. How many archery ranges? We're on 4 archery ranges now. And with this many slingers, he's probably going to need a couple of pumps of chariot archers to really push this back. But once you can whittle down the numbers a bit, then obviously the slinger's not going to be much of a problem. Gold mining is coming in for Saymyname. Obviously chosen another of those civs that are reliant on the gold in the Bronze Age. And it'll be interesting to see if he just goes straight into the swordsman line. He does have the 3 barracks down, though another stable is going down now. So possibly it is cavalry as the option. Obviously, Saymyname should expect the Hittites to go into the chariot archers. So obviously, I feel like going for the swordsman line too early is not the greatest of calls. And we do have the wheel in, but Bongo has not. Okay, there we go. Some chariot archers added to the queue now, and artisanship coming in as well. Bongo probably needs to get a few more villagers onto food. There's a little bit too many on wood. Obviously, a little bit more wood than is needed than the food for the chariot archers, but a little bit more balance from there would be nice. So yeah, first wave of chariots comes out. Like I said, there is still quite a large number of slingers, which is going to make things a little bit difficult. Bongo has to delete the wall to those chariots out. Is he just going to ignore the slingers? Because he could do that. That does leave him a little bit exposed to the base. He's going to try and re-wall up behind that. But he needs to be careful that these slingers don't just push through. Next wave of chariots is somewhere. We've got 10 out on the field already. Where are the... Oh, sorry, the village right in front of my eyes. So... Okay, so I think actually Bongo will be able to hold position. Idle... Well, I guess we're berry workers. Berries must have run out. Houses do actually prevent Bongo from chasing in there. Saymyname only really has the 2 towers in defense here, relying on those houses for the time being. How many cavalry? We have 5 cavalry out at the moment. +2 attack only for the time being. We do have a +4 armor already for Bongo on his chariots there. And yeah, most of the slingers do get cleared up now. So now Bongo should be... Yeah, there's only 5 left, so he should be pretty free to start pushing forward a bit more now. Obviously, Saymyname getting those cavalry numbers up, so you do have to be a little bit careful there. But how are we anyway? 16 chariot archers now. Nobility coming in for Saymyname, very important to try and close down that gap. We don't have nobility in it yet, just yet from Bongo. Obviously, one of the things is like nobility has a gold cost, so you do actually have to put some villagers on gold to pick up that tech. Although, that said, Bongo could probably just sell maybe like a couple of hundred wood, and I think that probably would be the amount of gold, 'cause it's not a huge amount of gold for nobility. I can't remember the exact value. But yeah, so I think possibly Saymyname may be forced to have a bit of engage here. Axa gets annihilated there. A little bit of overkill with the chariot archers. And said Saymyname still relying on those houses for the walls, which means Bongo could quite easily punch through. I mean, it just also is open, but the chariot archers would have to dive through. A little bit of an engage now. Bongo should maybe try and get himself up on the hill here. He's just kiting back for the time being. Taking a few hits from the cavalry, not getting too much done in return just now. There we go. Nobility is coming in now. So actually maybe he did sell some resources there, because he's not got any villagers on gold. I think Bongo probably has the units that you probably could just let his chariot archers fire here. Yeah, still only +2 attack on his cavalry. Obviously, Bongo trying to minimize the amount of damage done. Let's have a look. So 60 to 54 extra TCs being added in. This is very brave by Saymyname. tower is going to go up to try and defend this position, but one tower is not going to be able to hold this many chariot archers. Bongo doesn't see that just yet, though. And cavalry trying to kite this out. Bongo decides to ignore those, which I think is a wise decision. Try and punch through, and that should be probably... Okay, I feel like we just need to punch through the houses here. Okay, there we go. A few volleys, and we're in. So, Saymyname does have those couple of towers, but that's not a huge amount of space for villagers to hide in. And in we go. Still only the... Oh, okay, sorry. +4 attack is in now for Saymyname. But 44 chariot archers. You've got to imagine that this is Bongo's game to lose now. A few more villagers catching out, getting caught out there, I should say. And Bongo has quite a nice bottle. I think I would have preferred if he just stayed in that bottleneck there, and that would have given the cavalry only very limited access. Again, here would be fine. Just, yeah, stand and fire. There we go. And Saymyname just not going to be able to get the damage done to those chariot archers here. Next wave of chariots is coming in. There are some stun throwers on the front, but Hittite chariot archers are actually not that bad at dealing with stone throwers. Obviously, Bongo choosing to pull the villagers as well. Wall, I don't know if Bongo deleted that wall to get through, or the stone throwers opened it up, but I'll focus back here because I feel like that's where the main action is. You can see now the difference in the eco numbers is 19 kills from Bongo, and I feel like, yeah, Saymyname just going to lose a lot, and GG is just called pretty quickly there. And yeah, like I said, it was a little bit of a weird early game from Saymyname, sorry. Again, it was kind of one of those situations where you sort of didn't really find his opponent. But like that said, the barracks took quite a long time to go up. And then in the end, it was 3 villagers from here that got pulled to put the barracks up. Then the infantry armor came in, but then he decided to go full in on slingers, which obviously don't benefit from the infantry armor. Despite being infantry, it only applies to melee infantry, those upgrades. And yeah, it was just... There was a second barracks at home, wasn't there? Yeah, because there only one barracks forward, and then there was another barracks at home. So just, yeah, the push never really came to much. Obviously, we did get the big number of slingers at one point, but Bongo did just about enough to kind of distract a few of the slingers and hold the position to give him the time he needed to get the food to get to the Bronze Age and get those chariot archers. And these bowmen here, they went for the dive. Did get one villager, nearly got 2, jumped into the tower there. So that was a little bit of a counter-attack from Bongo. But like I said, most of it was just making sure he was well defended enough to get himself up to the Bronze Age. And that was the case, as we saw in the end. Those Hittite chariot archers just very difficult to deal with once the numbers are up for basically any civ, really. So Bongo fighting back here. 2-1 now is the series score. As we jump into game 4. So where are we going for game 4? I'll click return to map instead of return to replays there. That was a little bit of a mistake. So game 4, we are going to Oasis. And okay, so the civ matchup for this map is Bongo's going to be on the Yamato, and Saymyname is on his Babylonians pick, which I think was his 7th and last pick. So not the best civ for Saymyname on this map here. Yamato, probably one of the 2, well, maybe not 2, one of like the sort of 4 best civs I'd say on this map. Because obviously Shang was just good on every map. My brain kind of always counts them out because it's just like, yeah, like I said, they're just kind of good everywhere. But Yamato with their cheaper scouts, cheaper stables, just very powerful once they reach that Stone Age. And the Babylonians, not quite so powerful in the earlier phases of the game. They do get the cheaper market techs earlier on and the higher HP towers, and I got the Sims confused here. For some reason I thought this was the Yamato here, but yeah, Babylonians on this side. Higher HP towers and walls, so yeah, towers maybe might come into this just because Saymyname does the towers, but we don't see normally players taking out the towers. They kind of just like, they either avoid the, yeah, they just avoid them and work around them. But yeah, walling on this map's usually quite difficult. Actually, Saymyname has what I hesitate to say is a more closed map as far as Oasis goes, in terms of like, you could sort of imagine walls given enough time. I guess kind of similar. So yeah, this not as open as Oasis can be, but obviously still fairly open. It's still going to be very difficult for the players to wall themselves in here. So yeah, scouts are usually a pretty strong play on this map, just because it's so difficult to wall up everywhere. Villager coming forward very early from Saymyname. He's only on 12 villagers at home. I guess maybe he doesn't want to repeat situation of the last game where he's spending forever trying to find his opponent. Just try and get that forward right on his opponent's face. This, yeah, like I said again, Babylon is not the strongest in the early game, so Saymyname is going to have to pull out a Saymyname masterclass for this to really work out. The villager gets spotted. If that doesn't get spotted, there we go. Villager's getting pulled here. Saymyname, I think, kind of lost track of the villager a little bit there. It's probably focusing somewhere else. So the villager, I mean, I guess it's done job one, which is finding his opponent. But it's not really done job two, which I imagine would have been to build a barracks or something at some point. We do see another villager. Is this just for exploration? There's another elephant there. Classic one tile miss. Is this villager going to come forward as well? Bongo has got a couple of bone hits in there. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like it is going to be another villager coming forward for Saymyname. But like I said, you've got to imagine the Yamato should have a huge advantage in this matchup, but Saymyname can somehow get this forward to stick. You never know. It's always a very cutthroat game, AoE1 in the very early stages of Tool Age. Villager getting caught out by a lion there. It's not what Saymyname wants. Lion does go down. 7 HP left on the villager. So if this villager gets caught out, it's going to be Trouble City. Both players clicking up actually slightly earlier for Bongo. Yeah, you can see 10 seconds difference there. 20 vills both players. Barracks is going to go up. Bongo looks like he's going to play from home, which is another fairly... Ooh, actually, that said, the villager is starting to come forward now. Or is that just grabbing the elephant? And where is the barracks for Bongo? Do we not? I think we don't have the wood just yet. Unless... I'm just trying to see if I missed a forward villager from Bongo, but I'm fairly sure I haven't. Okay, barracks is going up now. So, the clubbers may be able to make things a little bit messy. But yeah, it's very, even if Bongo does commit to the scouts, it's very easy to him because just how cheap those military buildings are to just add in an archery range as well. So the scouts will struggle a little bit into the axes when they're trying to defend. Watchtower coming in straight away, probably for both players, I would assume, just from Saymaname's play style, although it's just the infantry armor for the time being. So it is the stable from Bongo, and this villager is still being chased around. 5 HP left. Okay, tower does come in now. But once these clubbers come in, I imagine Bongo will just place down an archery range as well. Scouts are coming out for the time being. Clubbers do have the armor upgrade in, but needlework has already been researched. So actually these villagers can fight back against these clubbers here. So Bongo doesn't need to be as scared of this many units as long as he micros quite well. Extra axe makes things a little bit more awkward. Archer range is coming down though now. But yeah, 11 villagers with needlework can easily kill 3 axes. This is now 4 axes. So Bongo kind of taking more damage in terms of idle TC time here than he really needs to. Scout did come out, just doing a little bit of exploration of what the forward's looking like for the time being. Bowman being added though. And again, these villagers can very easily just jump out and take out a couple of axes, but yeah, it's gonna, now there's so many units, it's very dangerous for the units to jump out. But Bowman's gonna be able to thin down the numbers fairly quickly. And now the villagers do jump back out now. So, after all said and done, 2 eco kills to Bongo. Obviously, one of them was the start villager got spotted out ages ago, and I guess the the forward villager must be caught out by the other forward villager must have been caught out by the scouts there. So, after all said and done, 23 eco to the 19. It looks like Saymyname is not really added in, or well, it just doesn't have the food economy at the moment to add in any more villagers, or indeed units at this point. He's going to need to try and find some food. He's bring all the villagers forward to find the berries. And the military camp's still slightly ahead for Saymyname, but a lot of that is in axes, which can be dealt with the bowman here. And Bongo doesn't need to throw away the scouts, I don't think. Yeah, only 5 bowmen for Saymyname. I think Bongo can be a little bit more aggressive. Okay, does start pushing forward now. Arrows go a little bit wide of the mark. It might be worth to just send these scouts forward to his opponent at this point, because like I said, against that many axes, the scouts, it's a little bit difficult for them to get much done. I think the idea he has here is he wants to try and snipe off the slinger and maybe a couple of the bowmen. I think he just does have the number of ranged units to just win the fight anyway at this point. Saymyname's still just on the 19 villagers. Bongo slowly drip feeding in an extra villager now and again. So I've got himself a little bit set up with the farms now. And kind of playing a bit of ring around the rosy here. With Saymyname is going to get around the building wall. So scouts do go forward, but they're a little bit distracted by the house there. House wall trying to go down. Villagers are forced to hide as that second house didn't quite get the foundation down in time. Scouts going forward again here. Tower is defending. There's another tower here defending the stone as well as the wood. Scouts have that 1 pierce armor, so they might be able to get some damage done here. Forces a few villagers idle at the least. But what does Bongo see so far? Okay, so he hasn't spotted the other part of the eco there. Again, it's very easy for the villagers to just jump into the tower there. So we'll go back to the fight around Bongo's base. Now there are quite a lot of slingers now, so this stoneworking just coming in as well. So this is going to be difficult for Bongo this fight now. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to quite get the engage he probably wanted a little bit earlier. Another scout is added in the queue. Yeah, he might need a couple more of those. Is he bringing the scouts back, I wonder? No, he's still just having a look around. And, villagers do jump out, and that's a brave play. It's obviously quite easy to like pick off a unit with the villagers because they don't have any attack stance. You have to be very vigilant with them. Pretty good engage. Need to be careful with the villagers there. But Bongo dancing around using... Oh, he actually doesn't have woodworking. But he's trying to like dance around that max range. Get some pot shots in. They're just hiding the TC again. Our scout's actually gone forward. I don't know what happened to the other scout there. Not much done, so yeah, we'll just keep focusing here for the time being. Granary gets taken down, which isn't the biggest of issues here. Villagers jump out again, trying to get attack in. One villager just get caught out, another villager gets caught there as well. And this is starting to feel like a little bit troubles for Bongo. He's just all in on the bowman. And there's 14 slingers out. And again, this stone mining is in and no woodworking for these bowmen here. And not much done. Oh, actually, 2 more kills. Okay, found the berry workers. 3 more kills and the workers there. So that's going to be quite nice for Bongo. But 12 villagers forced idle is the biggest problem here. And yeah, I mean, I said maybe those scouts should have been sent forward a little bit earlier, but I guess in hindsight they would have actually been maybe a little bit more useful to try and defend against the slinger mass now. And yeah, Bongo just doesn't have the food he needs to keep unit production going. And now he's probably, well, I was going to say be house soon. He does have quite a little bit of headroom. Woodworking just coming in now. And I think Bongo's unfortunately going to have the biggest miracle fight of all time to stand any chance here. It does kite a little bit under the watchtower, so that's helping. Villagers try and engage as well. Another couple of villagers do go down. And yeah, GG is called 3-1. Like I said, I think Bongo maybe panicked a little bit too much with the early axes. Like I said, once needlework is in, he could have definitely cleared out this early wave, and that would have relieved a lot of pressure, I think, because he was very quick to get needlework in, that was good sense to get that. But these villagers could very easily deal with those axes, and that would have relieved a lot of pressure there, because he just wasn't able to really get control of his base in the early tool age and sort of utilize the Yamato's advantages. Like I said, he did do the quick switch to the archery range, that was good, but like I said, he could have dealt with these early axes fairly easily, and that would have, like, again, alleviated quite a lot of pressure there. But yeah, Saymyname just committing to the all-in, and he'd built that second tower on the eventually here on the stone, so it was very difficult to raid in the end. So yeah, very impressive game by Saymyname with the Babylonians there. Again, I feel like Bongo maybe could have fought off those early engagements, which like again, at this point here he tried to get engaged, but Saymyname just running the units away, getting the slinger mass up. Like, I think if Bongo could have cleared out all the units here, again, that probably would have worked quite well in his favour. So just small little differences, and Saymyname just able to get those slingers out. And Rez, man, stop. I'm literally going to ban it. Why are you trying to wipe people up? I'm just going to do it, dude. Like, I've said multiple times. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry for the distraction, but I don't get why you can't. We've only got a small community of players. Like, why can't you just be nice? Why can't people just be nice to each other? Like, people complain that Return of Rome doesn't have enough players, and then it's just like you're all at each other's throats all the time. It's like, it's just disgusting. Frankly, I'm just gonna say it. But I'll move swiftly on, so apologies to everyone else in the chat that's just trying to enjoy the games. So, 3-1 is the advantage to Saymyname now, so he is actually on match point. And we'll see if Bongo can bring it back. We'll go back to the draft because I've not been paying attention too much to that. Have I got it up? There we go. So we had Oasis. And yeah, Babylonian. So Saymuname's last pick, managing to match up against TakeawayBongo's second pick. What was the other game? We had Chosen losing to the Hittites. And so for map 5, where are we going for map 5? So the options left over are Plateaus, Inland and Desert Ridge. So Bongo's choice, obviously, as he lost the last game. Both players have the Shang left at this point, or had the Shang left at this point, obviously past tense. But Saymyname has the Phoenicians, Roman and Shang. Shang. I do like the Palmyrans. I am a Palmyrans fan, but I'm also a very big Phoenicians fan. And Romans, I feel like, are just slightly better civ. Well, in my opinion, much better civ than Assyrians. Assyrians can have their day if they get to the Bronze Age, but it's going to be interesting to see what the civ matchup and, in fact, what the next map is here. So yeah, let's get ourselves into game 5. So it is Desert Ridge we went to, and Bongo, I may be feeling forced to pull this out, but he's gone for the Shang in this map here. It's happened in a couple of series where some players, they want to save the Shang for a specific match, or map, I imagine, and then like they unfortunately get knocked out of the series before they get a chance to play the civ. So I think maybe Bongo feeling here that like he's, again, Saymyname on match point, so maybe Bongo just felt forced to pull the civ out here, give himself the best shot at winning this game and extending the series. And so, yep, like I said, Shang for Bongo, who is actually on this side of the map, and Phoenicians for Saymyname. So as much as I do like the Phoenicians, I just have to admit that Shang are just stronger civilization. Yeah, well, I think unfortunately for those players, it's just not worth their time to play Return of Rome. There's so many AoE2 tournaments these days. It's like, it's actually crazy. I mean, they're still my favorite civ, but Shang is just the best civ. I'm sorry, Jesse, don't hate me. But yeah, like I said, I think there's just so many tournaments and stuff for AoE2 that for Doubt and Tato, it probably doesn't make sense for them to come back and play some Return of Rome games. It was very nice to have them in the early tournaments in Return of Rome, but I think sadly we probably won't see them again anytime soon, unless we somehow can hold hands and be nice to each other and build the community instead of tearing each other down. 4 elephants. I was focusing on Saymuname's point of view, but Bongo's managed to find 4 elephants there. So that's going to be very nice for him. I think he didn't quite see this one on the way out, but I think he's got a half-decent chance of seeing it on the way back. We're not going to get the classic one-tile miss, are we, boys and girls? Surely he's going to see it. He's on track for it. Oh, okay, there we go. Does he see it now? Does he pick it up? Elephant train. I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen an elephant train. I can remember in the very early tournaments in the hat we had, there was like people with 6 or 7 elephant trains. Saymyname does manage to grab 2 himself, but obviously this is a huge start for Bongo, just because it means he's going to have that food available to him for a very long time. So he's going to be able to delay having to go onto those farms for much longer. Well, yeah, that's the thing, Fire. Yeah, it's a good point. It's like you don't know where your opponent has been, so sometimes you're searching already explored territory. Yeah, 5 elephants and Shang. I mean, like I said, Bongo on the elimination. Well, every game is going to be an elimination game from now on for Bongo, but this is probably the best he could hope for in this match so far. Again, he's still playing up against a very strong opponent, so easier said than done, of course. And I've not talked too much about the maps. Quite a lot of wood lines, but sort of somewhat open-ish for Bongo. You can see for Saymyname, it may be, it's quite wide on this bottom part. It's not impossible that you could wall to the edge of the map, but yeah, a little bit more open. This again is another one of those maps where it's like sometimes you can just get a very easy to wall map depending on wood lines. It looks like in this case a lot of the wood has spawned like to the back of both of the players, leaving that front a little bit more exposed. But yeah, I didn't actually spy this, but I spot it now. Forward at barracks from Bongo. 21 seconds idle TC time is maybe a little bit high for the Shang, who are definitely the easiest to keep that idle TC time down for. But that is still better by 10 seconds than his opponent, who's building the barracks at home. This time, 3 villagers getting that barracks down. I guess he wants to try and maybe get a couple of defensive clubbers out as soon as possible. And second barracks for Bongo, so it's going to be the classic 2 barracks play, with 1 barracks being used to research the axe upgrade, whilst the other usually just keeps adding in a few clubbers. And is Saymyname going to spot the forward, or is the clubber going to reveal it first? And again, both players probably going to go for the watchtower, which is usually the much better play on the more open maps. Actually, wall being researched by Saymyname. That is very uncharacteristic. Stable going up at home as well. And first clubber is here. No upgrades just yet. Don't think I saw needlework coming in. Oh no, it is already in, so I did miss that. So Saymyname does already have that on his vills. Yeah, needlework going to be able to make swift work of the clubman. And then, like, this is kind of what Bongo could have done last game, is he could have just used the villagers. I mean, Saymyname maybe splitting up a bit too much there. But yeah, using the villagers to just take down those early, just those first couple of axes. And yeah, nice villager micro to jump those back into the TC. Villager getting caught out by an axe here. And that first scout coming in, actually the second scout I think from, oh yeah, first scout's actually here. And no needlework for Bongo, but there is the defensive tower. Villagers jump in the TC. So single scout shouldn't be able to do too much. Let's focus back over this way. Axes managing to dive under, just get 1 kill. I think that was actually a bowman there. And yep, Bongo still applying the pressure. Second archery range coming down. Obviously he's going to need that extra range to sort of pick these villagers off underneath the tower there. That villager's still trying to run away. 2 scouts in now. Still no needlework for Bongo, so he's going to need to be a little bit careful here. And scouts do manage to get a kill in. 2 kills, in fact. So yeah, like I said, no needlework makes villagers sad. And woodworking coming in quite early for Saymyname. And he is on the bowman now at home. And it kind of feels like, unfortunately for Bongo, that early push has been a little bit curtailed for now. Scout numbers are up. Where are the axes? They're just mostly chilling on the TC here. And yeah, Bongo's kind of committed to the all-in. Looks like he's not really been, yeah, because he's lost 2 villagers and he was on 20, so he's literally not made a villager since he got to tool age. He's going to lose a couple of the houses here, which will leave him housed. Saymyname probably should focus down 1 house at a time, but not a huge deal. And now, yeah, both players doing the same to each other. But yeah, Bongo's going to need to get these bowmen in under that tower and get some damage on the villagers fairly soon. Some villagers going on a run there. Going to try and pit the center, find some more of those elephants. But yeah, 5 scouts now. Bongo's just going to be forced to jump in and out constantly with the villagers. Still no needlework in. A couple of axes have come back. And I think 5 scouts can deal with 2 axes. I'm not 100% sure about that. Ooh, I thought we were about to see it played out. I feel like if Saymyname focused down one of the axes, he shouldn't take too much damage in return. But now we do see the dive under the tower here. We don't have any slingers from Bongo, which can be a useful unit to tank up the tower. Just try and take the bowman down. Axe is kind of being used as a sacrifice. Does get the kills there. Villagers going down now. Only 5 can fit the towers, as I've said before. 2 more villagers going down. 3, 4. So it's a good dive under the tower by Bongo. And Eco forced idle, and actually puts Bongo ahead on villager count now. So if you can keep this pressure going, all of a sudden Bongo looking in a pretty decent position now. And Saymyname down to the 7 military units. 5 of those are those scouts, which have been brought home now. How many axes do we have left? Not many around here, only a couple forward. I don't know whether it's kind of around. We might see a bit of an engage. We have armor, no armor in for the bowman. So Bongo could definitely use that +2 armor against the scouts now, unless he can just keep his... Well, maybe he just has enough units to keep at range, actually, so he should be able to hold himself out nicely. Score is 3-1, as shown at the top of the screen there, but hello, Heaven Shine. Oh, you said UC. Okay, sorry, I only saw the first message. But yeah, going under the tower again, picks off the bowman, but the scouts are going to get in now. Axe is doing a little bit of work there with their last dying breaths. Bongo feeling brave, does carry on the dive. Scout's going to keep doing a lot of damage here though. And yeah, just finished that last scout off, and the wild village is going to go down. And this may be a game-winning play from Bongo now. A lot more of the villagers going down. 12 eco kills. And it's now 19 to the 14 of Saymyname left over. And only the 2 bowmen. And now with all that all cleared up, looks like Bongo is starting to set himself up with adding villagers again. It looks like, I said he would look like in a not a great spot when those villagers were around his base. Did he ever get needle? He still didn't get needlework, but he managed to, yeah, only lose the 2 villagers to those scouts, so that was quite well played under the pressure there. And he chose some opportune moments. Again, like I said, sometimes you can, if you have the unit count, you can just dive underneath the watchtowers. TC is going to go down. Saymyname does have the wood to replace that, but he doesn't have the food really to build much of a response beyond that. He's currently just trying to get bowman numbers up, just obviously try and defend what he has left over. I think, yeah, he's still going on the elephants at the top here. And TC forward by Saymyname. I guess, oh, okay, it's just going to be another dive under the tower. Let's just focus here for the time being. Archers being, oh, bowmen, sorry, being picked off. And GG is called. A couple more villagers do go down. And Bongo, very nice play there. Again, maybe I probably would have preferred to see needlework come in there, but again, he did a very good job of fending off those scouts. Like, he had this sort of little bit of a building wall to sort of try and protect, and that tower doing a lot of work. And yeah, the dives under the tower. This one here, you can see it was Bongo was a little bit behind on this point, but ahead on the military count. And he felt like he had the strength in numbers to just dive underneath the tower here. And this really swung the game back in his favour. So, 3-2. Bongo has used his Shang now, though. And that means Saymyname still has the Shang left over as an option himself, as well as his Romans, whereas Bongo has, what is it, the Assyrians, and I can't remember the other civ now. Palmyrans was his 2 civs left over. Going to diving school, he's been having lessons. Guys, please stop winding each other up. I'm like begging you to just stop it until, like, just leave it to the DMs. Game 6, and we're going to Plateaus. And this, yep, Saymyname is just going to pull his Shang out. Assyrians is going to be the pick for Bongo here. And Bongo has managed to bring this series to 3-2, but I think he's going to have a little bit of an uphill battle in this game 6 of the best of 7 series. And like I've said, I mean, actually, on my tier list, I actually put Macedonians as the worst civilization in the game. But I do think Syrians is still one of the worst civs in the game. This is a very unusual plateau spawn. A huge amount of the flat land on the north side. Usually it's kind of like... yeah, it's more... What's the word I'm trying to... It's more like a... It's not a reflection, it's more like a rotation of the map. So you normally have a bit of flat land on this side and then a bit more flat land, excuse me, between the two ridges here. So actually the players spawning fairly close to each other, as they're both in the lower quadrants of the map. And Bongo has managed to grab a couple of those early elephants. This is another map where you do get 4 elephants in the center. This one's usually a lot easier to find those outer elephants because you can usually just skim around the lake edge of the lake. The lake is actually quite small on this particular spawn as well. There is an amount of fish in here that you can see 1400 plus, so like 2650 in food. So it probably is worth trying to get a dock on there at some point. But I've seen much larger lakes on Plateaus before, games before. I think this may be the first Plateaus game actually played this time. I think the map's been picked a few times, but it's not actually been played. So it'll be interesting to see how this one does play out. This is another map where you usually have a fairly open base, although here Saymyname could wall off the flanks and then it'd just be the one side at the front he has to worry about. That said, Bongo has a very defensible position here. So for him it would be actually not too difficult to wall up if he gets all the exploration and sees where all his wood lines are. Yeah, both players bring back a couple of elephants from the center. Yeah, we'll see how we go. If it is going to be, well, I'd imagine it'd be an aggressive forward for Saymyname on the Shang. I'd be very surprised if not. Like I said, I think the Assyrians... I mean, if Bongo can survive the early game and he can get himself to the Bronze Age, then you can get the... Maybe you can hope to get to those Assyrian chariot archers. I just feel like Shang are just a little bit too strong of a civ for that to really work out. I think Bongo's, like I said, has got his work cut out in this particular game again against such a strong opponent as well. But we'll see how he does. See if he can prove me wrong here and show that Assyrians are in fact top tier civ. Jokes aside. Find another elephant. Oh, dropped aggro there. And the artifact, I think Bongo had control of that artifact yet. So Saymyname takes control of the artifact now himself. Does a little bit more exploration. Did Bongo actually see his opponent's base? Not precisely, but obviously it's usually a fairly good indicator that when the artifact gets captured that it is around where your opponent's base is, because obviously there has to be a unit there to capture the artifact. Whereas Saymyname sent it off in a slightly different direction. And this is going to be interesting now actually, because the two villagers, the more classic, I feel like Saymyname is only really be going one villager forward in a lot of the games, but the more classic Saymyname play of 2 villagers forward. But I've got a good feeling he's going to go, yeah, just opposite the map where those villagers are going at the moment. And this may buy Bongo some extra time to get himself set up in the in the Tool Age, sorry. Yeah, you can see both players 20 vills, but 29 seconds of extra idle TC time for the Assyrians. Just the 11 for the Shang. So barracks does go down pretty central in the map. And Saymaneme's still not 100% sure where his opponent is. Though, being able to see the all of the flats here, you should be able to know that his opponent has to be in this bottom corner now, which is obviously why he's sent over there. Like I say, slightly unusual spawn, maybe throwing Saymyname off a little bit, and Stable coming down straight away as well. So we're not actually even going to see any clubmen. It's going to be straight into scouts. Bongo does hit the Tool Age now, and Small Wall is researched. So Bongo has a very short amount of time now to try and get as much of his base walled up as possible. That crocodile is going to complicate things a little bit. Second villager being brought forward, I think that's very wise. But yeah, trying to just get himself fully walled up. There is the one tile gap down here. Hopefully that doesn't become the undoing. Bongo there. I don't know if Bongo... I guess maybe one of those berries inside, but obviously being quicker to wall here. Oh, the scout's coming forward. Needlework is in. Singular scout shouldn't be too much of an issue. It does go for the house walls just to ensure the gap gets closed up. How are we doing down this side? Walls are up, tree in the way there. Another villager coming forward. And wall here. Again, there is this hole in the wall here. Okay, villager's coming down now. Probably going to plug that up. Only a house wall on this side for the time being. And again, yeah, Saymyname trying to plug his way through at the moment. This is testy times. Market coming up. Maybe try and get that woodworking upgrade in as soon as possible for Bongo. For those bowmen he's already started creating. Villager almost definitely going to wall up behind this. There we go. So Saymyname, yeah, this does give, so Saymyname does have control of the map now, so that does give him free reign to dock down there, which is going to be a very nice eco boost there. But Bongo's safe for the time being. What is this? I think it's just, a villager getting caught. I guess that just got caught on the wrong side of the wall when it was building there. So that's first villager going down. Yeah, Bongo, yeah, did wall up there. So he is, I think, fully secured for the time being. Obviously, there's no walls behind these two buildings here. Still relying on the house as a wall. So Bongo could just delete these walls here and just build up again to get, because he's got 0 stone at the moment, but you could delete these foundations and just build the wall behind the wood line, the house line there. Bowmen are coming out now. That's a little bit interesting. I think I would have preferred to see a barracks down and then Saymyname going into Slinger to try and break through the walls. Obviously the bowmen do basically literally the minimum amount of damage you can do. But yeah. The house does go down. Granary trying to be built. Actually, it felt like he tried to get these berries as part of that wall there. But yeah, bowman coming in now. Ooh, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, he's just trying to get on to the food. Just trying to get as much food in as possible. Obviously, it takes quite a while to transition into the farm, so if you can get those extra free food, yeah, he's opening up the walls to try and create some space. I guess he's got the bowman here that can hold the position. Doesn't have stone to maybe build a tower. It's obviously this stone he could collect right there. So maybe that actually would... He'd have to have the storage pit down there, obviously, because no drop-off point nearby. So, yeah, full fish boom, though, for Saymyname. It's not actually that far ahead on the eco count. I guess maybe it was a little bit slow to start adding in villagers again. Possibly, I didn't exactly notice, but Saymyname sometimes does just stop making villagers when he hits the tall age, so maybe it was just trying to save the food for the all-in and the scouts. And with the scouts not working out now, they just decide to go back onto villager production. But yeah, obviously the fishing boat's going to give him a very nice advantage. Bowman, a little bit out of position with Bongo, will be able to defend now. I think these bowmen need to just kind of literally just sit here, although we are getting a lot of pressure on the south side, I've just noticed. That's another archery range being built up behind that. Well, a couple of bowmen going to make this a little bit tricky. And yeah, I think maybe another villager will need to be pulled in. It does so. Bowman coming down here now. A couple of, well, 4 bowmen being used to push out there. Archery range does go up, and 1 villager did go down. I'm not sure if that was here. Looked away for a brief moment. That elephant coming in. It's going to be nice for Bongo, but it's actually Saymyname, with the help of the fishing boats, is able to click up to the Bronze Age first. Bongo, quite a lot of wood. So Maybe slight mismanagement of the economy has slightly slowed down his Bronze Age click, which he's going to do any second now. Any second now. There we go. And what we can see here, more archery ranges. So probably... interesting. I guess Chariot Archer is going to be the play, as we're not going on to gold. I feel like Saymyname could have just added in the slingers and tried to pressure through the walls there. But yeah, he went with the archer range and a few bowmen. Hasn't really managed to get too much done. Like I said, the main thing is that he's got control of the map and the water, which is obviously giving a huge advantage. But Bongo is nearly where he wants to be in the Bronze Age with the Assyrians. He is going to have still a pretty big uphill battle, especially because Saymyname is quite far ahead in terms of getting to that Bronze Age, which he is in now. Government centre coming down. Plenty of resources in the bank for Saymyname to start pumping. Yeah, Bongo does have plenty of resources of his own, but it's just going to take him longer to get those numbers out. And another reason I'm not a huge fan of the Assyrians is even though they have the faster firing chariot archers, the chariot archers don't get nobility. So Saymyname just gets nobility and it equals out a lot of the bonus. Because yeah, they fire fast, the Assyrians, but they'll also have to hit. They'll have to get more hits in to kill their opponent. It doesn't quite fully balance out the bonus, obviously. So I think it's only like 14 HP or something like that you gain. No, what is it? It's 10. It's like 11 HP or something like that from nobility. So I think it's 15% of chariot archers have 70 hit. Yeah, they still. Yeah, the Assyrian bonus is still better than the nobility. It's just I'm just saying it like it does balance. It takes away from the bonus. It takes about because the bonus I think is 33% in the Bronze Age. It probably takes away about 12-13% of that bonus. And so there are quite a few scouts left over from Saymyname. A couple of those get picked off by the bowman here. But yeah, like for example, if you play Assyrian chariot archers into Babylonian chariot archers, for example, the Babylonian chariot archers just win with nobility. But yeah, first chariot archers are coming forward. Bowman still being used to defend the position. So good use of those leftover tool age units. Just yeah, again, just to try and buy Bongo a bit more time to get those numbers up. There's only two chariots behind at the moment. And like I said, he is getting a good number of kills just with the bowmen that are left over. But Saymyname still very far ahead on eco. How much fish is left? 600. To be fair, the bonus of the fish is starting to run out, but obviously that's given Saymyname a very good position. Barracks, I think, is going to get taken down soon here. And 15 chariot archers to the 19, and nobility is coming in now. So yeah, these ships are going to be useless soon. So in fact, like that disadvantage here is not actually as big as it will shortly be not as big as it looks. So it's not all doom and gloom as nobility does come in. We see a bit of an engage. And Bongo does have the more chariot archers in the immediate vicinity. Reinforcements should be coming in from Saymyname, although they're just kind of chilling at the top of the hill there. A few more chariots are going to wrap around on the top side. Bongo was able to get most of those berries there though. He's going to be forced off a couple of the wood lines. Bongo in the low ground here. Going to need to try and avoid taking as much damage as possible. Does get back on top of the ridge. I think he is outnumbered now. Obviously, they are Assyrian chariot archers. I think he just needs to let these units fight. Archers is quite nice, little break off the units, try and get some damage done on the eco maybe, but he's going to lose the fight because of that around the back. Bowman's still having their say on the situation. And again, Saymyname just still straddling the wall there. Can Bongo get in some eco kills? As again, the fish eco starting to run out. If Bongo can get a good number of villager kills now, and he could try and balance out the situation. There's a lot of villagers here, not enough space in the TC for all of them. But yeah, obviously Saymyname with his huge clump of chariot archers here is going to be able to clean up eventually. It's just how much damage can Bongo get done in the time being. And the answer is just the 8 villagers, and I think these are now kind of dead to rights. Kind of funny that we've got the box formation with the chariots there. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is. So now I think the fish has finally run out. So these 11 fishing boats are now effectively useless. So it's kind of actually like 74 to 69. So obviously still a bit of an eco lead for Saymyname. 25 chariot archers to the 39 though of Saymyname. And okay, this fight here was an interesting idea to split off the chariot archers, but maybe Bongo should have just stood and tried and taken the fight there. It's hard to say. It's one of those things that, like, obviously we'll never know what the outcome of that would have been. But yeah, the numbers again with Bongo a little bit too much wood, needs to try and get some more farmers down. See a bit more engage here, and this is going to favour Bongo if he can just keep forcing this through. Looks like he's got a couple of units on the top side as well, being a little bit annoying. Dives through, but yeah, Saymyname with this full force of chariot archers here now. It's much less numbers for Bongo. +2 range in for both players. So all upgrades that are relevant are in. If Bongo needs to get taking a lot of free damage there, I think this could be the deciding moment. Saymyname getting a real grip on his opponent's forces there. Pretty one-sided fight. Bongo, I don't know if he got caught right-clicking, looked away for a moment, took quite a bit of free damage before the engage came out. I don't think the siege helps, to be honest, but I don't think siege is very good against it. Oh, and he's on the low ground, taking much more damage. So yeah, maybe not the best of decisions for when choosing when to fight and when not to. But Bongo, yeah, he's going to lose. I think he was, again, maybe looking somewhere else. Got a few chariot archers in the back here, but they're going to need to get so much damage done now. 51 to 26, so he's got double the numbers for Saymyname now. It's not over yet, just yet. In fact, 23 villager kills, so a lot more damage was done than I thought. Again, there's still 11 of those fishing boats that are sat doing nothing. So yeah, I guess not all over, but now the chariot archers are coming in for Saymyname. Bongo needs to, he just needs to try and get at a good engage to try and balance out the chariot archer numbers again. It's losing a few units, I guess just, yeah, the gather spot for a couple of the archery ranges. Siege workshops are coming down, but this is just going to get denied, unfortunately. And villagers being forced to run. Obviously with the wheel, they're always a little bit pesky to try and get rid of. But yeah, 29 versus 40, and Saymyname has the extra numbers to try and flank around. It's going to cause havoc in the back of the eco there. Yeah, 84 villagers to the 86. Looks like Saymyname maybe deleted some of the boats, or maybe they just got caught out by something. Iron Age in for both players. I actually hadn't noticed, just seen now, but Iron Age nearly, yeah, 60% of the way in for Saymyname already. Obviously, the Shang do not get alchemy, so if we do just stick to the range units, it does go back in favor of Bongo, because obviously the Syrians do get the access to alchemy. But yeah, TC going to be forced idle, a couple of villagers getting taken out, and yeah, breaking through on the wood there. Looks like Bongo, yeah, you can see the eco kills going up and up and up. And yeah, Iron Age is in. Horse Archer is coming out. Craftsmanship and Ballistics. Like I said, you don't get alchemy as the Shang, but regardless, the Horse Archer is just a very scary unit. And yeah, you can see Saymyname, plenty of gold in the bank to get that unit out on the field. There are 5 stone throwers in the Siege Workshop here. They're going to have to get some mega hits in here, though. Is it worth popping them out here? He's trying to get the flank round. I think if there's a play to be made, it has to be now. The stone throwers come out, big hits come in. Saymyname still with 50 chariots. They're a little bit trapped in, though. Can maybe sneak out the side. Trying to wall up to stop coming through. No, he needs another couple of big hits, though. The stone thrower's doing some work. Saymyname trying to micro back and forth. I'm a little bit surprised he's not trying to scatter formation. Another big hit from the stone throwers. And you can see the Horse Archer numbers building up behind this. And Bongo just needs to do as much damage as possible. And he's done a huge amount there. And Saymyname probably would have been better to just try and run out there and just cut his losses. But another big hit from the stone throwers. And that, yeah, that's actually one of the Assyrian bonuses that doesn't come often come into play. Is they do get the cheaper siege upgrades, and that was a huge trade for Bongo. He is still behind on the. Oh my God, there was an absolute massacre here on the gold. I didn't see that. Yeah, alchemy is coming in now. Horse Archers, but 31 Horse Archers. I think Saymaneme's advantage of getting to the Iron Age just faster than his opponent. Even though Bongo got a really good fight down the bottom side there, I think sadly for him, it might not be enough. The alchemy on these chariot archers is still going to be nothing to laugh at with the Assyrian bonus still in play. It's just these horse archers just do so much more damage, 7 base damage compared to only the 4 of the chariot archers. And yeah, the sort of, yeah, this TEC is kind of just being out on its own. We do see a little bit of a counter push. But yeah, 66 eco kills for Saymyname now. Bongo down to 70. We're going to see a fight on the bottom side here. I think the numbers are just too heavily in favour. A little bit of dancing back and forth just to confuse some of the bowman shots. And I think now you can just see the resources. I mean, both players have quite a lot of resources. There's not much gold left though for Bongo, which is obviously important for this horse archer, and I think it's probably going to be one of the last fights. I mean, the catapults are pushing forward, but with horse archers on the field, it should be fairly easy for Saymyname to come back and clear those up. Although you never know. I mean, in fact, he's got a whole bunch of horse archers here. So I think maybe this might be the final fight of the game. See, woo! Got pretty big range on these catapults, need to be careful. Yeah, if Saymyname can get the engage heat. Woo! Why is this? It's kind of like really, oh, big hit from the catapults there, but yeah, it just goes close in. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Those horse archers all just gone to the damn hell. Where are these boulders going? So what is going on? But yeah, still a huge army in the base, down to 57 villagers now. So yeah, these catapults are probably going to get get some more damage done. But ultimately now, Saymyname just far too far ahead. Heavy cavalry being researched into now. Saymyname not actually made any cavalry yet, but you can get those units out to just clear up the catapults. And it was a good attempt from Bongo in this game. Like I said, it was always going to be difficult up against the Shang. Yeah, the Mango. I think that was a little bit buggy in capture age. I think it made it look like those boulders were going further than they actually were. Obviously, they do have the 14 range, so it's pretty good. But yeah, I think Bongo, obviously, he's out of the series. If he resigns, he's just going to play out the game until it's completely over. He still has, he's got 11 catapults in play, to be fair. Don't think he's ever going to be able to afford, even with the Assyrian bonus, don't think he's going to be able to get himself up to heavy catapult with the economy he has left over. He's going to be able to get a few villager kills here. I've just noticed the idle TC times are over now for both players. But yeah, Saymyname doesn't have actually that much, that many military units on the field, but yeah, like I said, just the eco advantage. Surely way too much to come back from. Catapult, can I get a good hit in there? A little bit of split formation there. And yeah, Saymyname, that's the other thing, he's just had a control of most of the map for most of the game. Assyrians can't get the they don't get the Scythe Chariot as well as the other thing. If this game does go longer, then the Shang can just win because they have the Scythe Chariot available. But obviously, Saymyname still with plenty of gold left over. I think this now may be the final fight. Heavy cavalry units, not a huge number of heavy cavalry units, but I think enough to take out the catapults. And Bongo may play on for a little bit longer, but I believe this is now going to be, I mean, he's adding back in villagers, so he was. But yeah, I think this is going to be the 4-2 victory for Saymyname. A very back and forth series, well played from both players. Like I said, I think there was a couple of plays Bongo maybe could have done a little bit better, like on the Oasis map. I think he could have defended a little bit better in the early phases of that. But on all the other maps, Saymyname has just been applying a good amount of pressure. Even on the Gold Mountain maps where the pressure was a little bit misplaced and didn't work out for him. But yeah, last few catapults down to 3 now. And still some resource in some units in queue, but it's now 42 to 6. Metallurgy coming in as well for those heavy cavalry units. And I think we're just waiting for the GG now, the tap out. Yeah, all the blue TCs everywhere. Well, that's one of the main reasons we nerfed the TC to costing a little bit more, because it's just like, it just feels like a no-brainer that it's not worth building storage pits or granaries once you have government centres. You can just spam out TCs, because you get the defence of the TC and their ability to build villages. So yeah, GG is finally called. 4-2 to Saymyname in a pretty nice series from both players. Score, how score same? Yeah, score is a little bit, I think it's probably just because the KD, I don't know actually, that's a good question, because I feel like Saymyname must be pretty far ahead on resources collected this game. Yeah, way ahead. So I'm a little bit, yeah, that's a little bit weird, the score being as similar as it was. Yeah, no, it doesn't. I'm just saying that that's why we did the change. It doesn't make a difference at that point, at this point in the game. But even in the early Bronze Age, it just didn't feel like there was any point building any gathering point other than a TC. So, but yeah, well played from both players again. Like I said, Bongo definitely gonna be a threat because he's not out the tournament. He's just drops to the losers bracket, but he's definitely going to be still a threat to whoever wins the game between Unrestricted and Vertex. The winner of that matchup will move on to face against Bongo. And yeah, like I said, fairly close series. Like I said, I think on that Oasis map, Bongo, maybe, I don't know if he just underestimates the power of the needlework villagers. I feel like he could maybe have made that game a little bit more even of a match. And then if that goes the other way, then at this point it's 3-3, right? And then we're going to a game 7. Predictions. I mean, it feels like you put your try-hard pants on, Vertex. So I feel like anything can happen at this point. So obviously, Unrestricted did beat Vertex 3-0 in the opening round of the tournament. But then Vertex with a very strong performance against Mini Yeti. So yeah, it's going to be. I mean, I'm looking forward to all the series that are left over. Well, I feel like he'd had enough of me down talking him, and he wanted to prove me wrong. But yeah, like I say, his series against Mini Yeti was very convincing. I don't know if Mini Yeti maybe underestimated Vertex as well, possibly. But yeah. So, thank you everyone for joining us again for another nice series of Age of Empires.